The Grimwade family actually showing real life despite social media feeding us all that real hype. We just some real guys trying to give some high definition to reality. Family acrobatically juggling lives, smothered in crowds to avoid eternal casualty trust. It ain't easy, but teamwork make the dream work. It's me, Ella, Hezzy, Hosanna, Harper and Hallie. And I ain't forget that has a rage and the family.
Oopsie.
Ready?
Did it go?
Yes, again.
With my eyes shut. What? How can you catch
Oh, you did. Well done.
What did she
Well
just do
done.
it?
She caught it, yeah.
Ready?
Very good, well done.
That wasn't even to me.
It was like, well done.
Ready? Wait, okay.
It's more of a test of how accurate can the person throw.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah!
Well done, Marie.
Oh, okay. See, I
Because your eyes are closed, you obviously don't know.
Hallie in that case. What did you just do?
I just threw it over your head to Hezzy, but it didn't go to Hezzy, it went out the door.
We were sitting almost in exactly the same position yesterday when we was watching. Well, first of all, who follows us on Instagram? If you don't, please make sure you go and follow us now. At the, what is it, guys?
Grimwade family.
At the Grimwade family, TikTok at the Grimwade family, Facebook at the Grimwade family, and YouTube the Grimwade family.
There you go.
Instagram.
We
We did that
Instagram
first, darling.
first.
What are you saying?
What have you been saying?
She's been saying dada.
She's been saying dad, gone. What's she been? You tell us what she's been saying, babes.
My little darling Houston Rocket. Come here, darling. What have you been saying to your papa?
What have you been saying?
You've been saying dada, haven't you? Have you? No? She's not going to give you anything right now, but she's been saying dada. She's been going da. Yeah, very stush. Princess Queen Houston.
Yeah, Queen. Come on, get it right. Queen Houston.
Where's the little smile? No. We're just going to be very, yes, stush.
But you must let the Grimwade Gang know that, what did she say first? The only child maybe in the world says.
Yeah, she said mama first, apparently. But, well, she did. It definitely sounded like that.
Definitely sounded.
It definitely sounded like
so
that.
it was that, wasn't it, Houston? It was mama first. That only child to say mama first. But it's okay. You can carry on with saying dada now, even though you're not even saying it.
So basically, I don't know if anyone does follow us on Instagram.
Finish what I started saying.
Yeah, basically, what you would have seen is we went to watch 12 Years a Slave. We didn't go to watch, obviously, we watched it in our house because you don't go out anywhere these days. But that's another story for another day. Basically, a lot of people were like, wow, you know, you're watching that with your kids. And we was like, yeah, why wouldn't we? It's a picture of something that really happened. Do you know what I mean? And even though we don't live in that time now, like right now, as in overt slavery, racism, you know, whatnot, there are still many things, you know, that are in society today that are racist, and it's good. Oh, sorry, we've got a problem here. Some hair envy or something. You've got long hair yourself, Mrs.
She's just such a grubber trying to.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, look, she's sticking up for herself now. But yeah, like, you know, these things, I think it's important, especially for our children to know about, because our children may not have come to being if it wasn't for some of the amazing people who went before and paved the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was saying, basically, when we was watching the film, sorry, Hosanna, sit up so I can finish putting your hair in one place. When we was watching the film, like, the kids, the girls, to start off with, were just like, oh my gosh, sorry, Hosanna, do you know what?
Could you pick up Houston for a second?
Actually pick her up, and then, because otherwise she'll just be wailing in the background.
Yeah. Hey, mama.
Thank you, Papa. So yeah, it was just kind of like a real look, obviously, at what had happened in a man's life. Solomon, I can't remember his surname.
Solomon something.
Yeah, I can't remember what his surname was, but what happened in his life, and it was an insight for the kids to be able to see that if certain people had not obviously gone through these horrible situations and experiences, like to fight for freedom, Daddy and I couldn't be together now today. And I was explaining at one point that if, for example, in the past, Daddy as a white man had children with myself, rest of the society would not even look at the children as Tim's kids in a way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, they just belong to that black, you know what they say. Yeah, they're your little, you know what they say, the N word. Yeah, and I think it's important for us to explain these things to our children. Like, before we actually started watching it, Tim was explaining to Hazariah that obviously mummy's black, daddy's white. That makes you... What does it make you, Roo?
Mixed race.
Yes.
Makes you mixed race.
I'm black and white.
And that's excellent.
We're very proud of it, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes. Beforehand, Tim was explaining the whole race thing to Hazariah, and it was just like, it was good to obviously see Roo, like as you just saw, to get that understanding himself and be like, yeah, I'm black and I'm white, I'm mixed race. So
And it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, of course, and helping him to recognise that, okay, back in the day, some people did not see being anything other than white as being a good thing. And all the sufferings that so many black people had to kind of go through. But I don't want to just chat. Like, how did the children feel like when they were watching it?
I felt like, well, his name, what the whites would call him, was Platt, but his real name was Solomon. He was very, very strong and determined. Like, when he first got, two white men, they were going to do business with him, but they weren't really. They were just set up by someone to kidnap him and bring him back to
Slavery.
Slavery, and be a slave for the whites. And then, like, he woke up in chains because they put something in his drink.
Now, let me just ask you, what in the world would that feel like?
That would probably shock you like so much. You'd probably wake up like, sorry, what? Why have I got chains? Why am I chained down and I'm sleeping in this rag? I was just out.
Yeah.
Dressed in nice clothes.
Yeah,
you
at
know.
a nice diner hall. Like, how am I suddenly here? And then
I'm watching
he was getting beaten up, but he was not showing any weakness. He was just taking it like a real man. Like, he was firm in it, and he wasn't letting the white man see anything that might have given him a hint that he was like
Getting one over on him.
trying to beat him. So he was just standing up for himself. He wasn't agreeing that he was
A slave.
a slave, and that he was just a free man from Washington, but
He was actually from
Saratoga.
Saratoga. Well done, Hez. Very good.
Saratoga. But then he was saying he was
263.
a free man from Washington because that's where he came from last.
Okay,
so that's
right.
all the
I
white
can
people
do
would take.
jiggling.
So
No, I think he did say Saratoga.
Saratoga.
He did say that.
did,
They were
but
trying
then
to force him to say that he was from another place, I think, that he wasn't. But he didn't really want to give in to that, do you know what I mean?
So yeah, they said he was just a Georgia N-word.
Yeah, which is that
it's
nice?
no, it's very nasty. And white people, why do they call black people like animals?
Yeah, that's what they did a lot as well, isn't it?
yeah, they were saying it so proud, and I was like, the black people, like, just hands up to them. They were so strong. They weren't
What do you
like
mean they were saying it so proud? Who was saying
like
it?
the white people. They were just saying it anytime
It was
they saw
like
them.
they were just taking the mix. So
Yeah.
there is a word for it in terms of like they were being very derogatory. Do you know what I mean? They were just trying to, as much as they could, put the blacks down. Like when the guy who I don't think he even owned that plantation or area, he was like, start clapping your hands, and then he made up some nasty song that he wanted them to sing whilst they was going around. Like, it's just taking the mic. Like, but I wanted to ask you guys, sorry, just swap with Harper for me, so I can do Harper's hair. Harper, come along here. I just wanted to ask you, children, whilst you was watching the film, obviously there were some things that obviously we as parents fast forwarded through, blah blah blah, because we felt like, oh, this isn't appropriate.
It's a bit graphic.
But some of the things that you did see, maybe like when the people were getting beaten up and stuff, but they were firming it as much as they could. Yeah. So for Hezi, for you, how did that make you, you know what I mean, feel? Like just watching it, do you feel like, oh my gosh, what were you saying?
No, I don't feel like, when I see especially a black man getting beaten up, I feel like that is so unjust to the black men, because he hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't doing anything and saying anything. He was just taking it strong and firmly, and just not showing any signs of weaknesses for them to for the white people to latch onto and make
and feel like they had a victory.
But even on a slight different note, as a child, when you watch anything violent, do you feel like, oh, it's a lot for me to see, or anything like that?
No. I don't feel like that. I just feel like I don't get scared or worried or anything. I just think like.
But let me ask you this: the violence in, say, like a Marvel superhero film versus what you saw in 12 Years a Slave, did that make you feel different?
It's different feelings because Marvel's not real.
Right.
And then the 12 Years a Slave. It obviously it was an act, but it has been real, and it was real.
Absolutely.
And black people were slaves, so that's more like I feel it more, but it's still not. It still doesn't make me super worried that like if I come up against that, like hopefully I don't, but if I come up against that, I would have seen what it looks like, so I know how to defend myself, and I know what to do and how to do it. So.
And you said you felt it, right? You said you felt it. Like, how come? Why for you, young man, would you feel it? Why does it relate to you?
It's because, like, Mummy's black, and I like my black culture.
Yeah.
Like, I do like my white culture as well.
Of course.
But, like, I really like just black culture is very... Like, how do I say it? It's very strong. They're very out there. And
charismatic.
Yeah, and they've got big personalities. And then when they all come together, it's just like no one can stop it.
Yeah.
So they're just so strong, and I'm like, yes, come on. It just gives me like a warm feeling inside, and I'm like, yes, I'm so happy I've got this part of me.
And even when the women, they would get, you know,
abused.
Yeah, abused. They wouldn't be like they wouldn't be like they would be like flip that hurts, but they wouldn't say flip that hurts, but
when she had to like take her beatings, lashings, like she was strong. It obviously hurt, but you could see within herself it hurt, but she was strong about it, if you know what I mean. It's like, it must be such a mad thing obviously to go through, and I totally get what Hosanna's saying. She's like, oh no, this hurts, but like I've got a pride about me where I'm taking it and I'm gonna be strong. Sorry, go on, Harper.
Yes, Harper.
it's because one lady got through with glass in her cheek.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
That was, what's her name again?
Patsy.
So she was a black girl, or young woman, and there was this white woman who. So Patsy was that white woman's slave, and another man, white man, and the white man or the white woman was her husband, and he liked Patsy, but he was watching Patsy dancing, and she wasn't trying to like get his attention or anything, but then the white woman just got a glass and just lobbed it into her face.
She was so jealous.
And she was like. She was just so.
She was a horrible person. She really was.
Sorry.
What's that, Ray?
And my bottle, just throw it in her face like this.
Yeah, exactly. And is that good or is that bad?
Is that bad?
It is very, very bad, isn't it? You wouldn't never do that to no one, would you, Roo?
No,
because it would hurt them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and you wouldn't want to hurt people, would you?
No.
I think for myself as well, something that really kind of was mad to hear was when the lady had been split up from her children,
yes.
And when she was taken to the new home that she was going to be a servant in or a slave in, she was obviously crying loads, and the woman said to her, oh yeah, have some food and a good night's sleep, your children will soon be forgotten. I thought, are you mad? How are you going to forget your children? Your children are not soon going to be forgotten. And it's just crazy that even the white woman then didn't seem to like obviously relate even to a woman's feelings for her child. Like, it's crazy. I'm just thinking, boy, if that was me, I understand why she was crying, but I mean, for you girls, when you look at the strength of what she had, how does that make you feel as young ladies?
It makes me feel like, whoa, she can do that. So if she can do that, I can do that. If but still, why would you say like that white woman must have not loved her children that much? Because like,
I'm not even sure she had any.
Yes, she did, because I saw the black maid, you call them maid, she
Yeah.
was holding 2 white kids' hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she did have children, but I'm like,
But she wasn't much of a mother.
yeah, she was just a bit of a
Yeah.
mother. But like, how could you say that to a black woman? I know she's black, and you don't really care for her that much, but it doesn't matter. It's still her children. Why would you like say that about?
Just because, like you said, they don't care. They didn't care for them. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that is what's so wrong about it, isn't it?
Yeah, like you shouldn't treat black people like that. Like if somebody else was getting like that, you wouldn't want the black people to do that to you. So why should you do that to them? So
Absolutely,
it's like that.
sweetheart.
I swear there's a passage or thing in the Bible that says love other people and treat some other people how you would like to be treated, and they will treat you how you want to be treated.
Yeah, no, it says like treat others how you want to be treated. But I was gonna say,
me.
sorry, go on, baby.
And even the white woman like scratched the white pansy on her cheek.
Not Pansy, Patsy.
Patsy on her cheek.
Yeah, and that isn't very nice, is it?
No, here, sorry, you had your hand up as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so Platt, the black man who was saying he was a free man, he was trying to help that woman who was crying because she wouldn't stop crying. She felt so sad that she had got took away from her children, that she wouldn't stop crying. And then Platt and her were in like a shed together. Where they lived. And then the woman wouldn't stop weeping, and then Platt was trying to help her, telling her, stop, do you think I forgot about my children? And he was like, no, it's in my heart, but I don't show weakness because otherwise, the whites will think they've got a win over us. So stop crying. And then the woman was like, yeah, but you're, and then she was just running out of words because she knew he loved his children, but he was not trying to show any weakness, and he was really trying to help her, but then in the end she didn't listen, and then she got took away. And Platt was there like, I would have helped you, but I couldn't, because earlier on a boat, Patsy was getting taken away.
It wasn't Patsy. It was it was the lady you're talking about, but it wasn't Patsy.
Oh yeah, the lady I'm talking about. She was getting taken away, and then another man tried to defend for her.
Tried to back her,
Yeah, and then he just got stabbed by the white man.
You can never like let your emotions overcome your sound mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can't ever do that, because people, if you even give them one little hint that you're sad or anything like that, they will think they've won.
If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And I was gonna say, like, you can have your sadness and downness in your heart, but you can't ever let it show on the outside until you're maybe back with your family in your house where no one else is. And then you can tell them how sad you are and how down you might have been feeling.
But you don't just let your feelings out to any and anyone.
Yeah, and even to your family. Try hold it in then. But just talk more.
But obviously, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. But in this certain circumstance which we're talking about here, you don't want to give anyone the one up on you.
You had to be clever with what you were doing, and I don't ever want you children to confuse being able to let out your emotions in the right way. Like, you shouldn't just bottle stuff up all the time.
No.
But there is a time, like you were saying, for speaking to your family and letting how you feel come out. But you have to judge that situation. So, you know, if you're ever in a situation where you're out on the street, or whether you're in amongst friends, you know, if you're hurt, stand up for yourself about the situation rather than go to tears. Do you know what I mean? Because it's I don't want to say it's a big bad world, but there are people in the world that just want to, you know, prey on other people's weaknesses, which is obviously not a good thing. And I would want you children to be able to learn to be strong. You can always come back to mummy and daddy and talk to us about what you think or feel, but you have to be strong within yourself and have pride within yourself. You're right, Rue. To stand up in any situation that you may find yourself in. Oh, Rue's just getting to lie down, bless him, he's tired. But yeah, I would just say, just make sure you keep that strength within you. It's like an inner strength. It doesn't mean you have to be bad-minded to people or anything like that. You just realise, okay, this situation calls for me to be level-headed, to make sure that I explain myself clearly. And God forbid you guys be in a situation that is as grueling as what slaves went through. You know, I pray to the Lord that whole era is now gone. But of course, in today's society, there are situations that come up where black people are treated unjustly. And I think the worst thing you can do is just get all emotional, and because that's just going to build up any hype unnecessarily. But you have to be able to speak for yourself clearly and soundly, and make sure you make your point firmly whilst keeping your emotions in check.
Yeah, guys, I mean, I always feel it's very important for you guys to watch, you know, these kind of things and see these kind of things, whereas in a lot of people sometimes think, oh, you know, this is too much, you know. But I honestly don't believe in a world where too much seems like the norm. Like, do you know what I mean? You just take the George Floyd stuff or whatnot, that was plastered all over the news. You couldn't not see that. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes the bubble wrapping your children, I don't even think it's possible in this day and age, because the internet, for one, although it can be great, you know, it's also a straight gateway into your house. Like, anyone can run up in your house with an internet connection. So you do have to be mindful of those kind of things. But like, as I said, I just feel, obviously, as a white person, you know, I'm ashamed of how white people carried on, especially knowing that any black person I've ever known has never even wanted revenge. They've just wanted equality. So that speaks volumes as it is, because whites didn't want equality. At the time, you know, they wanted more. They wanted the higher power. But the only higher power is God, and it shouldn't be man, because unfortunately, you know, man is driven by money and things, material wealth. Do you know what I mean? And it often, you know, causes big problems, because they're willing to do absolutely, you know, anything for it. And I just thank God, you know, for my family unit, who stand beside me or behind the camera at the moment, and you know, because you guys are some awesome kids. Do you know what I mean? Awesome kids, and I'm proud to be your dad, and you know, I know Mummy's proud of you guys. And even other people watching this video, I'm sure they're proud of you. Grimwade Gang are proud of you. Like, you speak so articulately, you know, and you express your feelings very well. Obviously, we've always, you know, just wanted you to be open, like however you feel, because we can't deal with nothing unless we know how you feel. But, you know, for you looking on at that film yesterday, if you had one word in for how it made you feel, Hezi, what would be the one word? I'll give you one sentence if you want. Like, how did it make you feel? Just a concise little bit.
Very unjust.
You felt it was very unjust. Fine.
Trying to think of it.
That's all right. Hallie, have you got a word of what it makes you feel? Or Harper, what did it make you feel?
When I was watching it, it made me feel like sick in some kind of ways, because it was really nasty.
You can have more than a sentence.
Yeah, it was really nasty, so yeah.
Oh no, that's fair, nasty. Go on, darling.
It made me feel sad, but it made me feel proud of those black people. Because they were being so strong, and they were not letting anybody see them being weak at all. So
that is quite an image, isn't it? It's something that you can really, you know, cling to, and put into your own thing. Like when it comes to your, and now I know we're told as Christians not to be proud, but it's not this kind of proud. That's when you think you're better than people. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about, you know, having some kind of self-worth and believing, you know, in yourself. Like, we know.
In the Bible it says, love your neighbour as you love yourself. So it assumes you love yourself.
Absolutely, Mama. So, Harper, what did it make you feel, baby?
It felt like, when I was watching it, it felt like
why would you do that to the black people? It's just not good.
A bit shocked, I would say.
Absolutely. But I think you all took it on very maturely, and I feel like you've learned something from it. Would you feel you've learned stuff from it?
Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Good. And would you, as children, would you prefer to watch those things, or just we pretend it doesn't exist and you?
I prefer to watch those things because if one day we were in that situation, like, and we were maybe in our like,
I would never let that happen to any of you.
I would always be very protective over us. But maybe if it did happen, we would just be like.
Yeah, you wouldn't know how to.
Know what to do. We'd just be like.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to do, and I think that is Ella and I's parenting in a nutshell. We don't want life to catch our children unaware. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We want them to know what's what, and we want to help them along the way.